Hi, this is JKC, and talking a little bit more about astral projection. And I wanted to kind of discuss some of the moral aspects of it. Again, as I talked about in my previous videos, talking about astral projection, that I am a self-identified Christian. Again, I'm not what you call an overly religious person, and I'm not in your face about it, let's say, but I do go to church, and I do, try to stick by the teachings of the Bible. And however, again, as I mentioned before in my other videos about astral projection, is that I've been dealing with this off and on all my life, and it wasn't until recently that I finally discovered what it was. And it maybe it's because I just didn't want to see it before, but you can't, if you try to walk a decent life, things like this, at least according to the Bible, shouldn't happen to you. You shouldn't just all of a sudden be dreaming, and the next thing you know, you're awake, but you're not, and then all of a sudden you're walking in what seems to be like another reality, and it is very real. And I didn't realize that until recently, but in trying to reckon that in my mind, I discovered that pretty much, I'd say probably 2 or 3 times a week when I sleep, or lay down to go to sleep, I should say, I end up walking somewhere else. And it's almost as if when I sleep, this body shuts down and goes to sleep, and then my mind picks up with another life somewhere else. And wherever this place is, it's not always good, things I see there. Some things are actually quite frightening, but what happens is that in this other reality, you're able to fly, you're able to do things, physically that you can't do in the 3D world. And there are good things about it, and the good things far outweigh the bad, at least in my experience. But I didn't ask for this to happen to me. I don't do demon rituals. I don't do anything like that. In fact, I think that I don't even follow the zodiac. I don't, maybe because I learned a long time ago that the zodiac is frowned upon in the Bible. But I did, in my readings, I've been going through the Bible again, rereading any passage I could find that has to do with this. And I can't find, again, anything specifically mentioning astral projection. There is a reference to being, caught up in the Holy Spirit, in which you speak in tongues, or, some kind of strange language that, and again, speaking in tongues is not, some Christians believe it's where you fall down on the ground and you're speaking in some kind of gibberish, and that only, the angels or God or somebody can understand. That's not what speaking in tongues is. Speaking in tongues is you are speaking in a different language that other people should be able to understand if they're in the room. But it's the ability to be able to preach the word, and yet everybody that in the room should be able to understand the language. But in looking this up, the reason I even mention this is because I have woken up several times and caught myself speaking in some kind of strange language that I don't understand. I've played it back on audio, and I don't understand it. It sounds like gibberish to me. This has never happened to me in church. And again, I'm not exactly what you call a regular attendee of church. I go, about once or twice a month, but I'm not what you call a regular attendee, and I'm not, one of the people up in the front row. I'm probably about midway to the back. So, like, I don't, again, I'm not what you call an overly religious person. However, I have woken up, especially after an astral travel type dream, and I've found myself speaking in some sort of language that I don't understand. And my husband has heard me, and other people have heard me, while I sleep, speaking in this language. And one of these days I hope to be able to put it out there to where I can put it on a video per se, and then see if maybe anybody can recognize it. But people may claim to recognize it but really don't. But I did, in trying to read about this in the Bible and trying to understand whether or not the astral projection experience is forbidden in the Bible. I did discover this scripture in the Bible, talking about Corinthians 14, verses 1 through 4. Follow the way of love and eagerly desire spiritual gifts, especially the gift of prophecy. For anyone who speaks in tongues does not speak to men but to God. Indeed, no one understands him. He utters mysteries with the Spirit. But everyone who prophesies speaks to men for their strengthening, encouragement, and comfort. He who speaks in a tongue edifies himself, but he who prophesies edifies the church. I think this passage is important because in addition to the astral projection, I've also had, again, the really strange, incredibly intense dreams that it felt prophetic to me, like I was being shown something. And I'll probably do another video where I'm going to talk about one of the main ones. But in this case, I think it's just important to kind of kick it around. I think, and this is just from considering everything I've read so far in the Bible regarding this, is that it is highly discouraged for people to dabble with the spirit world, or with the, not so much afterlife, but the astral plane, because a lot of people, they might think it's fun and it's cool and stuff like that, but entities can attach themselves to you, and if they follow you back, and it can cause problems. But I know some people talk about surrounding yourself with a white light and, practicing, positive affirmations and so on before you do this. There's a little bit more to it than that. You have to understand, if you're going to do this, that if you enter this realm, what do you really believe in? If you don't believe in God, then what are you doing? You shouldn't even believe in the astral world. Something created all this. I believe it was God. I believe that God created the entire universe, even the astral plane and any other dimension that lies beyond it. You can't believe in this stuff and then not believe in God too. That's just the way it is. And I think some people are gifted with the ability to, dream themselves to another place, or astral project, or out-of-body experience. But you have to know what you're doing, and you have to have discernment, because if you walk into a place like that, and you have to learn the language, which may be what I'm speaking when I'm asleep, you have to learn the language, and you have to know your way around there. I just have this gut feeling that when I'm in this place, wherever it is in between worlds, that I've been there for a long time, and I'm very familiar with the territory. I don't always remember all the times that I go there what happens. I just remember bits and pieces, but I know that pretty much as soon as I'm asleep, I'm almost always there. But when you're in this place, you have to be strong in spirit, you have to be strong in belief. And I know without a doubt that I was meant to do this. I've had the ability to do this since I was a child, and I'm not anybody special, and I don't want anybody to think of me that way. I'm just a traveler. But you have to know that if you're going to do this, that you have to be strong. You can't let demons into your life. You can't let evil entities or evil people into your life. And even in the astral plane, there are evil people there, and they're just almost nearly as bad as any other entities you might find there. Now, I'm not saying that the astral plane is hell, because it's not hell. It's just a place that's in between. It's a limbo, basically, and there are other entities that are stuck there for whatever reason. They can't go one place to the other, and when they find someone who is sensitive to their presence, it could be just a person that is quote-unquote psychic, that senses presences. You're like a glowing beacon to these entities, and they will come to you wanting a way to get into this world again. And so you have to be able to discern good from evil. So think about that. I think fundamentally, whether or not astral projection is immoral or unholy is not really the question. I wouldn't have been given this ability as a believer in God if it wasn't, something I was supposed to use at some point. I believe that we're on the cusp of a great change in this life. I don't know if we're going to evolve or if there's some great battle that's coming our way, but I know that some of us have been given different skills for different things, and I think that this is part of my path, whatever that might be. I also do remote viewing. I've remote viewed places that I later found out to be real places and real people, and places I'd never seen before in my life. And I wouldn't have been given this if it wasn't for a reason. It's just a matter that you have to develop discernment, and you have to be very, very careful, because you cannot step into an alien land like this and be unable to recognize good and evil. You have to do that. Anyway, that's just some thoughts I've been kicking around on the subject. Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye-bye.